Hello. How do you do? It's almost nice and quiet out here. It just got quiet. Usually Thursdays are pretty loud because it's garbage day, and evidently Oregon has so much money they have a truck for every item that is picked up. It's weird. Or I misspoke. Let me say it like this. Usually they collect, when collections are made, it's like different days of the week, but here it's like truck, like, and I take my trash to the dump because don't want to, it's way more cost effective and I can, so I do that. Those guys are lazy. Plus, if the lid is up like that much, they put a freaking, like, if it's up, if the lid is at all not seated, they ticket you. Pretty much, they charge you extra. It's a ticket. You extended your capacity of what we allow, so you owe us. You know? I don't want to go that way with this. Today's April 26, 2018. After my usual coffee mate of my check-in with Ben Davison at Space Observers. See what the sun's doing, sun weather is doing, if she's flaring or not. He's my coffee mate. And then I sat down, settled in, started to watch a documentary. It's on Netflix. It's called Unacknowledged. It's an introduction. Well, I've seen other introductions of this man named Stephen M. Greer, and I respect him a great deal. What he's trying to do. It's narrated by Leonardo Esposito. You might know him from the Drug Pen burger franchise, owning drug cartel master on Breaking Bad. He narrates it. Yep, I really like that guy. I've seen him in other things. He's pretty conscious. It's nice to see. And it also has Richard Doty as himself and Edgar D. Mitchell. Now, this is for anyone who's ever thought, you know what, the government is kind of a liar. This just kind of brings it to another level of what fucking the psychopaths that run this country, because that's pretty much all they are. You're self-serving. You know, you think you're better than other people because of a position that you hold, which the people gave you. It's kind of ungrateful, and they're everywhere, and now they're starting to be seen for the snakes that they are, writhing in the grass. Because when you shed your skin, snakes, you're still a snake. So this just brings it to a new level, and I am kind of surprised, actually, based on who was on the frickin' board of directors of fucking Netflix, that they would allow it, pretty much. But I don't know, who knows what people's motivations. There's good and bad in every organization, so that just goes to show that if there's a message that's supposed to get out, the intended recipient will receive it. Here's an example of that. This is kind of funny, actually. I've had my first chart was done at birth. And for 44 turns around the sun, I thought sun and rising were the same thing. Sun, moon, rising. It's like they say, you know. And it was like last week I found out that I am an Aries sun and moon rising. It's not, but it's moon sign, rising sign. Well, my moon is Scorpio, and my freaking rising sign I found out is Cancer. I thought I knew myself my whole entire life, and then this little piece of information comes in. Now, which is really interesting. Because Cancer, my relationship with Cancers have been like dogs on, this is somebody else's example, but it's what I picture in my head, so we're in alignment. And that is like a dog on the beach comes up on a crab. The crab like snaps and runs away. Snaps, runs away. The dog's like, harp, harp, harp. And the crab's like, fuck you. That's kind of how I feel with myself inside. like when I flash and I flare, like when I get overwrought with stimuli and emotion, I don't know what to do with it, and I'm trying to sort things out. I get loud, but I'm not yelling. I speak from my diaphragm. That's how voices carry, you know? Learned it in drama. Doing plays. They always say, speak from your gut. And I do. I'm like, no, it's too loud. Shut up, make up your mind. Bastard, switching up the rules. So yeah, I'm a rising sign is Cancer. I was shocked. I really was. See, I believe astrology, astronomy. They tell us who we are, our influences. It's always has. I believe in it more than religions. It's far more accurate, way more consistent. And the stories of the stars, although they are different in our history, see, because people just, they don't consider this. Okay, I'm going to switch gears a little bit, but it kind of goes on with what Mr. Greer inspired me to see, that, you see, we're about 100 years, well, the United States public is about 100 years behind in technology. Because think about it, there was this big old technological boom, right? Well, first there was this thing that happened in LA that was actually in the newspapers in 1947, I believe it was. Yeah, UFOs. On the cover of the paper. It was real, it was true. That's where Roswell came from. See, these crafts, they got shot down. Is way more advanced in technology that they are. There's still variables that were not foreseen, which would create the crash, and then of course, you know, fucking military, fucking shoot them, motherfuckers, shoot them down, shoot them. I come in peace. I hope that they know that I come in peace, and I would never try to harm them or see what their insides look like. I want to ask them find out what their vibration, their frequency is about. Is it high? Is it low? Now, in this there was technology found at the crash site, and and that incorporated with what Nikola Tesla was pointed out to us. Wait, let me think about this. How did I want to say this yesterday? Okay, so what happened is there was a UFO crash in LA. They took it to frickin' Roswell. There's also stories about the 3 men that actually flew it and then got sick and died from radioactive poison, toxic poison. And what happened? The technology that they learned of from the example that was not freely given to them that they took, they could have gone either way. This is what happened. Now, back when Vietnam also started, it was the last time that we're coming up on a we're finishing a cycle. Now that cycle started back in the age of Aquarius, the hippie movement, all that stuff. See, what happened is people started raising their frequency and believing in peace, love, and then the government took that, called them, put them in a class beneath everybody else, and perpetuated war, killing for profit is what happened. Now, because of the technology that they got from the crash site, they could have gone in line with Nikola Tesla and created power for everyone to live free and not have to pay for electricity, so that fat slobs can drive big fat shiny cars and have really big tires on their big stupid trucks. And they can frickin' send their bratty kids to college so they can rack up all this debt and then get out of college and there aren't any jobs. Good luck paying that off. Anyway, and oh wait, they can just go work for Fat Dad in his freaking state office. That's what it is. That's right. I forgot about that. They'll fucking Biff will be okay. Little Skippy. What else? But if you don't know somebody, then you're kind of on your own. On the outskirts a little bit, so to speak. Did you know that one of the people that freaking emptied out Nikola Tesla's apartment was freaking Trump's fucking uncle? Yeah, but he didn't keep nothing for himself at all. Nope, probably didn't. I know how those freaking dudes are. They'll go and fucking take what they want, freaking keep what they want, and hide what they want. Yeah. So instead of the government, being of the people and taking the technology in a positive direction for the good of everyone, they got greedy. And they wanted to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and they wanted to make bigger toys and that shoot lasers and do things, all of these things that fucking kill people. And the whole point of people is to live life. So if you create a whole business on murder and call it national security, well, you can only sell that tune for so long before people start going, wait a minute, the government lies about this, government lies about this, government lies about this. The government just doesn't ever really tell the truth. But we just keep giving them our money. I was hoping that broad would be gone longer. She's just dissonance. She just oozes frickin' Tucker hates her. I fucking don't like her at all. Oh well. What else? There's a lot of good. Oh yeah, so the heart space. That just goes to my point. This greed. See, that thing you can squander and hide and keep all your nuts for you and yours in winter, and not share with anybody else. But if people get hungry and desperate, you know what? They're gonna come for your nuts, motherfuckers. Because that shit ain't right. I got this whole mission thing I'm trying to do. And I am not patient. I want things done now. And that is contrary to what divine timing is. So, I bounce a lot and I rock a lot. And I sit in nature and I ground myself and I drink my water out of my copper pot. Captain Copper Pot. And I fill my spirit and my body with mostly things that are good. I like ice cream. This was good news. I was happy to report, speaking of ice cream, I get ice cream at the market. And this happened when I went to the market yesterday, even though I didn't buy ice cream. The young gal that was working at the register, she was like, a lot of that. just like, man, my allergies are just so wild. Yeah, there's cause for that to be a, you know, for that to be a viable, oh, okay, it's allergies. But you know what? I'm like, I was like, well, I think it probably has more to do with all the shit that they're spraying in our breathing air. You see, because that's how I talk like this when I'm out there. Mostly people don't hear me because they're not on the same frequency. But this is hopeful for me because the man behind me turned around, snapped his fingers, and went, chemtrails. I'm like, yep. That shit ain't airplane exhaust, folks. Freaking particulate. They're freaking, it's just nastiness. And flu shots, you know, they put metal, if you looked into the stuff that they put in shoes, we are blind, have put blind faith into a freaking corporation, which is our government, that is making people sick. Did you get a waiver sign? Because I never gave anyone permission to put stuff in my atmosphere. I don't know if anybody else did. If you did, something seriously freaking wrong with you. And if you have children and you are freaking endorsing that shit, I don't have kids. I have nobody to leave behind. And this is the shit that you guys are doing for. And you want me to? Wow, it's just so. With the generations that are dying off that have freaking kept that freaking idea alive, and the generations that are coming up, see that cycle is ending. The age of Aquarius, now this is actual, we're in Aquarius right now. Time of Aquarius. So this goes to show you can either go with the flow, and I'm seeing this a lot because there's like flash floods in part of the world that it's never happened as far as people know. It hasn't been reported yet. So holy cow, this one's kind of long. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up. I didn't mean to talk for this long. I recognize that your time is valuable and important, and I don't want to make it so long that people don't want to watch it, but I don't know. I like stories, so. Alright, well, I hope you all have a rad day. My message as it stands, heart, space, and greed will not succeed. You might succeed for a little while, but the pendulum swings. Yep, so, that's all I got. I hope you all have a rad day. Peace.